Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, the issue of gender equality also made its mark on the world of Formula One, bowing to a change in public attitude perhaps, and indeed following the lead of professional darts. F1 have decided to drop the so-called grid girls from the pit lanes, ending decades of glitz and glamour. Martha Fairley reports.
Young, beautiful and often dressed in revealing uniforms. These are the Formula One grid girls. Their job for decades has been to stand in front of the cars, displaying the driver's number. But the sports bosses have decided it's time for the girls to go. In a statement, they said, while the practice of employing grid girls has been a staple of Formula One Grand Prix for decades, we feel this custom does not resonate with our brand values and clearly is at odds with modern-day societal norms.
This is such good news. I was banging on about this 15 years ago, that we shouldn't be using women in this way in a high-profile global sport. So it's extremely good news. It sends out a very powerful message, post-Trump, post-Weinstein, post-#MeToo, that women shouldn't be used as adornments while men are doing all the action.
The decision by F1 follows a similar move by the Professional Darts Corporation. This week it announced the end of walk-on girls, employed solely to escort male players onto the stage. Now there's pressure on British boxing, but the man who brought in ring card girls says they're part of the sport.
I introduced them into boxing in the UK back in the late 70s. So, you know, I'm continuing with it. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to put somebody out of work for no reason at all. I mean, the girls get in a living, and good luck to them, and they should be allowed to do so.
But the tide appears to be turning, and sports are waving goodbye to outdated traditions.
Bye.
Martha Fairley, ITV News.
Now, should young women be employed in the service of a sport to promote and enhance the atmosphere around certain sportsmen? Until recently, the answer appeared to be yes, for Formula One and darts among them. But the mood has changed in the light of the Me Too campaign and the President's Club. Such is the furore around yesterday's announcement that F1's grid girls will go, and this debate has gained currency in a whole host of sports and encompasses everything from banner waving to counting out the rounds in boxing. Will cheerleading be next? I'm joined in the studio by former Formula One journalist Beverly Turner, and in Glasgow by Victoria Obahor, who works in the boxing world as a ring girl and is worried that her job might be under threat. Good evening to both of you. Victoria, do you think that boxing is about to ban ring girls?
Well, hopefully not. I think the views and opinion of people saying that it should be banned or taken off completely is absolutely diabolical. It's absurd.
So what do you do as a ring girl?
Well, I escort the boxers into the ring. I tell the audience what round it is next. It's a fun and part of the show. It's exciting, glamorous.
And you feel part of very much necessary to the entertainment?
Yes, I sure do. Yeah.
Beverly, look, you know, this is somebody who is earning a living, doing what she wants to do. Mm-hmm. Why have you got such a problem with it?
It's not that I necessarily have a problem with it. We have to remember that the girls, particularly in F1, have not been banned. The F1 organisation has decided that that image of women as merely the totty on the side of the male action no longer represents the brands that want to invest in their sport. And quite right too, because the days are gone of women just being the frippery, you know, the icing, while men are the main action. It sends out a very powerful message to the next generation.
But isn't that quite patronising? Because these are women who are earning a living, doing what they enjoy. They're, in a way, you might say, no different from any other entertainer.
Well, it is the entertainment business, and like any entertainment business, no job is secure. And this isn't about feminism taking these women's jobs away from them. This is a decision. Well, it is to some extent, but it's about the owners of F1 who are conspicuous by their absence in this debate. And what's happened?
Well, actually, Bernie Ecclestone, expert, has said that actually he thinks it's a ridiculous idea to take the girls away. But that's maybe a generational thing. True, I wonder if, just coming back to Victoria, you know, obviously the conversation started with F1 Formula Racing. What do you think of the idea that there'll be no more, as it were, grid girls?
I think it's a shame. It's heart-wrenching, actually, because this is people's livelihood. It's PC gone mad, if you ask me.
Well, tell me about how you're treated. Have you ever been any inappropriate behaviour towards you or any of the other women that you know work in the boxing ring?
None whatsoever. It's just all fun. Everyone's there for a good show that the boxers put on, and ourselves walking around the ring, which we're not doing any harm to anyone else. People have their opinions on us, but it's not them doing it, it's me. It's my income at the end of the day, and I love doing it, and I'll keep doing it.
And you feel empowered as a feminist doing this? It's just part, yeah.
Yeah, it's part and parcel. Like, these feminists have it in view saying it's degrading. It's not degrading. I've worked hard for the way I look, my body, and if I want to express my way in that way, I will.
She's right, though, isn't she?
No, she's not right. I mean, we don't know what else Victoria could do. I wouldn't want to patronise her and say that she couldn't do any other job. I'm sure she's an intelligent woman who could turn her hands to lots of things, as could these grid girls. I'm quite surprised by the outpouring of sympathy from a lot of middle-aged men who have clearly been worried about the long-term career prospects of these girls. Strangely, they aren't interested in the long-term career prospects of potential female drivers, of which there are none. And there will be none while this is how sport...
Well, there are of course female boxers, but I wonder where you take this next then, because if you're saying that women shouldn't really be there for the entertainment purposes of essentially a male sport, what you would say about NFL. NFL's about to kick off big style. All the adverts, including on BBC, have got the cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders are completely different.
Well,
cheerleaders are athletic, they are gymnasts. You and I could not do what the cheerleaders do. You and I could stand and hold an umbrella over a driver on the tarmac. It's actually quite insulting to the cheerleaders to make that sort of comparison, because they are athletes.
Well, I'm just going to say, what do you think about that, Victoria? Cheerleaders are OK, ring girls aren't.
That's just ridiculous. We're all doing a job at the end of the day, whether we're athletic or not. I'm getting in there and doing a job as well as them. I just don't get where your views are on that at all.
I mean, the boxing...
Do you think actually though that male attitudes are changing and men are now saying for themselves, actually, this is actually not to do with the sport anymore, and we've got maybe they would feel they've got daughters or sisters.
I think it's totally that. I think we have so many images of women in the palm of our hands on our phones now. If you want to see scantily clad women, you no longer have to go to a Formula One race to get a glimpse of them on the tarmac. Those days are gone.
But
men don't tune in for that.
No, but I'm asking you that. I mean, there is a sense in which, you know, women are patronising other women about the decisions and choices they make.
It's not about patronising other women. I want my daughters and my son to grow up with a very good view of what it is to be a woman, and I don't want them to grow up thinking that we only judge women by what they look like. In Formula One, the women, and in boxing, forgive me, Victoria,
are you being judged on what you look like?
They do what we want, though. That's my prerogative. If you don't want your children, for instance, your daughter, to do that, then that's up to you. But my mum's definitely proud of me for going up there. So.
Thank you both very much indeed.